Discovery Island was an island located in the middle of Walt Disney World's Great Bay Lake. The island was discovered in the 1900s before Disney actually owned it, and it was known as Raz Island, which was named after the family that lived there. In 1930, it was purchased by a man who renamed it to Riles Island, and then in 1965, it was purchased as part of Disney World. The attractions that were there were called Trumpeter Springs, Parrot's Peach, Bamboo Hollow, Cranes' Roost, I guess, Avian Way, Pelican Bay, Flamingo Lagoon, and Tortoise Beach. Now, if you can't tell by the names, these were all attractions centered around wildlife, as this was more or less a wildlife preserve. Yeah, there was certainly no roller coasters on Discovery Island, as this was more of an Animal Kingdom type thing. As a matter of fact, playing in the water in the lake was extremely prohibited, however, playing in the sand was okay. The best way to describe Discovery Island overall would just be an animal observation type zoo place. It was a very, very popular destination from 1974 when it opened until 1999 when it closed. Immediately after the park's closing, Disney was considering teaming up with the company that made the game Myst to create a sort of survival interactive island experience, which was going to be basically a real-life version of the game Myst. These ideas never really went past the conceptual period, unfortunately, but that would be really, really cool if it actually happened. The park was also the very last place a dusky seaside sparrow was ever spotted before the subspecies went extinct in the early 90s. Disney also considered turning this into a honeymooners resort, however that idea was shot down pretty quickly as well. Now this is where things start to get interesting, because even though the park was closed in 1999, the electricity to the park wasn't cut off until around 2014. Leading many urban explorers that were brave enough to cross the water to see the island in its torn apart yet still completely visible and lit up glory. In summer of 2008, Disney decided to start remodeling and cleaning up Discovery Island, so they removed the pirate ship in the front and also started taking apart some of the buildings and removing some of the docking as well. It's also rumored that they cut the power to the island in 2008 as well, however I found photos in 2009, 2010, and even 2013 which show that the power was still up and running, so it wasn't until 2014 that they cut it, I'm assuming. Also, special thanks to Bright Suns Films for pointing this next part out to me. There was actually a forum post regarding River Country not too long ago by a user named Big John. Seriously? You're on a Disney website and your username's Big John? Anyways, Big John decided to ask an Imagineer about River Country and Discovery Island while he was on a tour, and his quote was, "She paused, smiled, and said that she could not discuss either of those closed attractions. She only told him to stay tuned," which means that there's probably something going on, but we don't know. And unfortunately, that's really all there is to say about Discovery Island. There's not nearly as many interesting details as River Country, however it's still interesting nonetheless to see what happened to it. Perhaps sometime in the future we'll get more details about both Discovery Island and River Country, which I covered in the last video. However, for now, sadly, it's just one more location that's going to be left to rot.